Hey True Crime Besties, welcome back to an all-new episode of Seriously. Hello, and welcome back to an all-new episode of Seriously with me, your host, Annie Elise. And today is Thursday, so first and foremost, that means we are through halfway of the week, thank God. But also, it means it's Headline Highlights Day. So we are going over all of the headlines that are breaking in the true crime world today. If you missed our deep dive on Monday, I'm going to just tell you, you should pause this episode. You should go listen right now. I did a deep dive into the A.J. Owens case, which most of you probably know that better as the case from the Netflix doc, The Perfect Neighbor, where it was mainly body cam footage. And don't get me wrong, this was a great documentary. It was super moving. It was very powerful, but there was a lot that wasn't included since they only primarily showed body cam footage. They, of course, can't tell the whole story or share details that went beyond that body cam footage if they're only showing body cam. So we did a deep dive into that. It is available. It came out on Monday. And now we are going to go through the new cases, a lot of cases. And we're going to start with some updates in cases like we always do. And then we are going to get into the new cases. And I actually only have a couple quick little updates for you. The first being Brian Walsh has been found guilty of first-degree murder, to no surprise to anybody. I mean, I think we all freaking saw that coming, right? Although I will say, last Friday, when the jury went out to go through and decide what the verdict was, when they went home for the weekend and hadn't come back with a verdict, I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was like, why aren't they coming back yet? That should have been a no-brainer, slam dunk. But early on Monday, we got the verdict guilty. So no more recaps at the end of the week for that case, but I'm glad that that sleazeball is locked away and will never see the light of day again. In this other case, I've seen a lot of you guys sending this to me on Instagram and tagging me in it, and it's a little bit of an update in the case, but I also want to take this as an opportunity to remind you, we did cover this story last September in Headline Highlights. We never did a deep dive, but we did cover it. And it's a horrific case where this husband has been charged with murder and pureeing his wife. It's truly sick. So Kristina Joksimovic was a 2007 Miss Switzerland finalist. She was also a modeling coach and had been found dead back in February of 2024 inside her home. Now, prosecutors in Switzerland are now formally charging her husband with murder and, quote, disturbing the peace of the dead, which I'll be honest, that is a charge I've literally never heard of in my entire life. I don't know if we just don't have that charge or whatever in the United States, but I've never heard of disturbing the peace of the dead, but I like it. So her 43-year-old husband, who has only been identified as Thomas, allegedly told the police that he came home and he found her dead. However, he admitted 1 month later in March of 2024 that he had killed her in self-defense. It's unclear why it took a year and a half to bring murder charges against this guy, but here we are. They now have charged him. So the authorities are saying that Kristina was strangled to death, dismembered, and that then some of her remains were put in a blender and they were dissolved in a chemical, which people, I don't know, they get creative, obviously, but it is so sick and twisted. It reminds me a lot of Harmony Montgomery, and that case will haunt me forever about them putting her in a nutrable. It's just so sick. But he's now in custody, the husband, and he's awaiting a trial date. So if you want a deep dive into that case, we definitely can. Let me know.